Hi, good evening. This is the pre-show where I tell you what's happening, and you caught me cleaning my glasses. Let me see you. Oh, you look gorgeous. You look good. Haven't seen you in a while. It's really good to see you. So yeah, Paul Report here tonight. I've lost all my automation, so this segment lasts 25 seconds. That is very interesting. I lost my stream. That is so horrible. I lost the stream. That sucks. All right, well, let's see if I can do this. Let me see if I can grab copy. Let's see. There we go. All right. So apparently, Facebook doesn't want me to stream. I don't know why, but they don't want me to stream for some reason. So I'm going to see if I can get people to go over to what do you call it? YouTube, because what would a show be without a technical freaking glitch? Seriously. I mean, seriously. What the fudgeums? I am so sorry. So sorry. Link below. All right, let me try the YouTube link. See if that shit works for me. Let's see. Okay, close. Oh, I hear tip tapping. Oh, something's playing. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm up here. Here we go. All right. Hopefully people will join me over here. Yes, the YouTube channel is working. All right, Jen's here. Yay, Jen. Yippee. All righty. Hopefully we get some more people to join over here. I don't know how many people are on. Let me see. We have 3 people on the YouTube. If you are on the YouTube channel, just do a quick hello if that's all right. I would appreciate it. All right, I need to cut the feed from here. All right, there we go. All right, I don't even need that up live. The hell with that. All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the Paul Report. My monitor is a little crooked, so I look a little crooked. I'm not really crooked. It's just the monitor is crooked and the camera's on top of the monitor. Good God, man. It wouldn't be a Paul Report without technical fun. So how is everyone doing? I've missed you all. Every one of yous. I missed every one of yous. And I really feel like I've let you all down because I haven't been doing the shows lately because of various reasons. None of which have anything to do with you all. It's all me and life and everything else. Let me see what I can recap for you. So yeah, there's really not much to recap. I've been bowling on Thursdays, which was my normal night, and Tuesdays were just felt like I was never prepared enough. So I just haven't been doing it. Been chilling out on Tuesday nights, me and the wife hanging out. I've been doing a shit ton of editing. And I just felt like I just wasn't having enough time for me and the things that I need to get done and the relaxation that I need because I'm old. And so I finally just stopped the show. But then today I had it in my brain that I wanted to do a show today. And I said, you know what? I have a show in mind. I did some research and I put some stuff together. And then I realized that all of my automation was gone. So the only automation that I had was just the show opener that I just created today. And I don't know if you saw it because of all the issues, but here, let me play the show opening because I made a brand new opening. So if you will allow me, let me play the opening for you so you can see what the new opening looks like. All right? All right, so it kind of ends a little abruptly, but I got to figure out the music on that. So I hope you like it. I like it. It's pretty to look at. And I have a new closing that I forgot to load in, but I will load it in and just play it at the end of the show. And because that's when you play the closing. So trying to think of what else has been going on. I'm starting a kind of new job at work. But that won't be happening until like December time frame. So that's kind of exciting. Like I just mentioned, I wrapped up a big editing job. So hopefully I'll be able to pay off some credit card debt that I accumulated from some of these projects just from buying assets and stuff like that. Pay off some other stuff. I'm going to hopefully buy a new lens for my camera. The photography thing, again, with the time that I feel like I haven't been doing much of anything other than, editing, family, sleep, work. My photography has taken kind of a backseat, but I'm hoping to get back into that as well, like doing the show. I've been bowling in a league. That is the ACST, the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. And what it is, you play an opponent every couple of weeks, and it's a lot of fun. It's one-on-one. I'm not doing so great in it. I've had some really close matches throughout the 5 games that I've played. One of them was kind of a blowout, but for the most part, every match has been close that I'm losing by, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins and losing total by not many pins at all. So I just need to get better at pinning, which is being able to knock a single pin down or a group of pins. That might be... Anyway, I'm talking ragtime, kids. I couldn't get Hangman working. So if you're here for Hangman, please stick around. But I don't have it to play because I am missing a connector. I honestly think I gave this connector to the wife for her work, which is fine. I'm not asking for it back. I tried to remember what I did with it. And as I'm sitting here right now, I kind of remembered what I did with it. So that's all right. We'll do Hangman next time because I'll go out and I'll get another piece. They're not that expensive. So I'll get another piece that I can hook in the iPad to the system here, and we'll all be good. So yeah, so I'm really happy that you guys have joined me. What's been happening with you all since I last I aired? I think it was back in September I did my last show. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to know who's here because I can't tell who's here when it's on YouTube. So if you just want to say hello in the chat, that would be fantastical. Let me just kind of get my screen up here. And that would be great if you could say hello. Jen has already said hello. Jen's here. And even if you're on YouTube, but you... oh, I know where it was, honey. I knew exactly where the piece was. It just wasn't, anything that I was going to get up and stop the show to get. It's okay. It's okay. Because, I'll tell you what. If people can respond in the chat that they want to play Hangman, then I will get up and get the stuff. But if I don't get responses, who's going to play Hangman? Just, me and the wife? I'll already know the words, so that's no fun. And I'll get it like that. Like that. Yeah. Oh, someone's dinging. Someone's dinging. I can't see who it is. I can't see. Oh, maybe it's just oh, it's something on the Facebook notifications. No, it's not. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. If we get people to join, then I can run over and get it. But I voted today. I don't know if you could see it on my thing here. I voted in a local election today. I don't know. I felt good voting. I mean, it was a quick in and out. There wasn't a whole lot of races to decide on. Some people running unopposed. So it was sort of like just, fill in the dots. My wife didn't like a candidate. She was going to fill my name in as a write-in candidate. I said, yeah, you should have done that. That would have been kind of cool. Have the one write-in candidate, for me. And then it would have been like, a story. I would have become the news story. Hey, I'm a news story. Anyway, so Bob! Yay, Bob! I gotta tell you, I was thinking about this show, and I was going through my head of all the things I wanted to talk about. And you came up as part of one of the thoughts, Bob, because of the subject of this show, which is, what about your friends? Now, again, there's a song that's, I guess, what about your friends? Very white, overbite. What about your friends? But yeah, Bob, you came up and I'll go through that. I hope Steph is feeling better and doing better every day with her hip, and hope that it is completely healed up soon so she can get back out there and enjoy the winter. Yeah, tell her to stay in for the winter. We don't want slipping and falling on, a new hip. We don't want that. So anyway, so the show I planned for tonight was about friends. Now, I did pull up a whole bunch of facts and figures about friends, and, like percentages. Like, according to Pew, 61% of adults in the U.S. say that having close friends is essential to living a fulfilling life. And that's more than those who cited marriage, children, or money. A slim majority of adults surveyed, 53%, said they have between 1 and 4 close friends. 38% said they have about 5 or more. 8% said that they have no close friends. And that's sort of adding up with what some experts are describing as an epidemic of loneliness for some Americans. Now, I can say that I have felt in my life the gambit of friendship. When I was younger, growing up in Malden and growing up on Bainbridge Street, I had no shortage of people to hang out with at any given time. On any given day, I could go out and pick, and everyone could go out and pick from a slew of people going right down the line. From my house, next door to me was Rich, Dan, and Derek. Next door to him was Steve, Jody, and Allison. Next to them was Rachel. Next to them, down a little bit, was Tammy, Tracy, and Billy. And then down the road from there was Danny and Diane. Plenty of people to hang out with at any given time, and we spent a lot of time together back then. We did the kickball, we did the baseball, we did the football, we did neighborhood plays, we did just so much. We did some fighting. Don't get me wrong, but we did some fighting. We had bullies. Not any of us really, but we had bullies that would come into the neighborhood and cause trouble. We would have visitors. We had this one kid that would visit one of the elderly neighbors. It was his grandmother or something, or an aunt or something, and he would visit for a couple months out of the year. And, it was, I forget the kid's name. Maybe it was Jeff. I think it might be Jeff. Maybe Bobby would know. Bobby, you're on. The kid who used to come, Donahue, the Mrs. Donahue. I think his name was Jeff. We do wiffle ball. Yep. We did a lot of things in the neighborhood, and it was never a moment where you couldn't find someone to play with. I mean, there were certain days like Sundays when people would go to church, we go to Hebrew school, whatever, Easter, Good Friday, Christmas, stuff like that. There was always, a lack of people around for whatever reason, but 350 days out of the year, if we wanted to find someone to hang out with, we could find someone. So then we get older and, we start finding that, we go to different schools, we have different, interests. Some people stay friends, some people sort of drift apart. And I don't know the hows and whys, but I drifted apart from some of the folks in the neighborhood, towards the end of high school. I didn't go to college after high school. Now, again, the forts in the woods. Yeah, we did all that stuff. We did so much stuff. Now, in high school, I had high school friends and stuff. Not a lot. I was sort of a blip in high school. I wasn't one of the popular kids. I didn't, I knew a lot of people, but I wasn't very recognizable at times. The people who recognized me were typically the bullies. Okay, the people who wanted to pick on me because I was a little chubby or what have you. I sort of made my own bed sometimes because I'd always find, a popular girl to, have an eye on, and then I'd think I was all that in a bag of chips, and I'd ask her out, and it'd be some dude coming up on me going, "You need to stay away from her." Okay, fair enough. It's all right. Going away. See you later. But yeah, so there was that. And then there were the people who just wanted to pick on me just for the sake of picking on me. And then after high school, again, I didn't go to college, so my friends became the people I worked with. And I worked at Mal's. I had friends from there. I went to work at Caldor after that. I had a lot of friends there. I left there. I went to go work at the Video Connection, made some friends there. So I accumulated some friends over time. And here I am going through my late teens, early 20s. Well, late teens, really. And I had, we went out all the time. We hung out at people's houses, underage drinking. I had, just a big group of friends. My friend Gary, who was Bobby's friend first, but became my friend. Gary and I hung out excessively during this time. I integrated Gary into certain friend groups that I have. I integrated a couple friend groups who there were the friends over here and friends over here. And because I was in the middle, I'd bring them all together for a party, whatever. It was fun. It was a good time. Now, I went to go work at a bank where I met even more people. So now my circle is like huge. I have a group of people that I can hang out with at any time, and they can call me, hang out with me, and it was great. Now, I have to admit that I would be the one who would call people more than they would call me. Some people would call me. They would, and we'd hang out, and hey, you want to hang out, Paul? Sure, great. But there were those people that I would sort of have to be the initiator of contact. And again, I was happy to hang out with them. People who I hung out with, I genuinely wanted to hang out with. It's not, I don't really like hanging out with people who I don't like. I don't know who does, but I don't. So now we're getting into the time where I'm at the bank and I move away to Florida. I just pick up and leave with one of my buddies, and I'm down there for 3 months, and I come back, I get my job at the bank again, and some of the friends have dropped off because I disappeared for a few months, but a lot of the friends are there. So again, picking up with the role. Then I start doing comedy. Okay, now I got this huge group of people on top of a huge group of people that I'm meeting, and they're all moody like me. This is fantastic. I got people I can talk to. We could be funny together. We could be miserable together. And then I still have my friends that we hang out with, and we drink, and we this and that, go to movies, whatever. I can't say enough about my early years up until my 25th, 26th year or so, around there. Now here I am with this large group of people, and then I decide that my father passed away in December of 91, and then I was laid off from my job in March of 92, and then I sort of floundered. I tried to find a job, but I got a severance package, so I was kind of living off of that, and I decided that I met a girl who lived out in the West Coast of Canada, and I ended up moving out there to Seattle. I moved out to the West Coast, America, because I didn't want to move to Canada. So I moved out there, and my comedy career kind of ended. I did it out there for a little bit, but it wasn't as much fun. I had really not a lot of people to hang out with out there. I still had friends back here that I spoke to, but again, I'm not talking to anyone because still at the time, phone calls were pretty expensive. Email wasn't really a thing full blown yet that everyone adopted. So it was down to letter writing. I was broke. I made some really bad financial decisions. So now I'm starting to slide down into the loneliness part of it because here I am. I'm working at a bank out there. I have no friends at the bank. They all suck. I just didn't like any one of them. They were all just, yeah. I had my girlfriend, and I had some of her friends. But again, I felt like a kind of like alone. And so I was there for 5 years, and towards the end of the 5 years, I mean, I got to a new job, I met new people, and we started hanging out with newer people. The relationship ended. I got into another small relationship that didn't last very long. But then I ended up moving back here. Now, when I moved back here, I had a job waiting for me. And I wasn't doing comedy. And it was, it was some familiar people at this job. But I didn't feel the same, like, friendships that I had before. I still had some friends left over from before, but things were changing. And so I would probably find myself in probably the 14% that had, like, two close friends. One or two. The 7% of people said they have one close friend. 2% of people said they have two close friends. Maybe I was somewhere in the middle there. Maybe 1.5. Okay. And then something happened. I stopped getting phone calls from people. I started feeling more alone than anything, where it was me always trying to initiate contact. I recall one specific, but possibly two New Year's Eves that I was home alone by myself because I had nowhere to go. And that really got to me, that I had nowhere to go, no one to go with. No one thought enough to invite me anywhere. And I didn't think enough to, I didn't want to be a third wheel. I didn't want to be a fifth wheel. I didn't want to be the extra person because I wasn't dating anyone. I wasn't seeing anyone. I was in a drought. And I don't know. I felt very much alone. So this is like 98, 99, in that area, 97, 98, around there somewhere. It was like I was by myself. And it was just, it felt awful, to have no close friends that I could hang out with. Or at least friends that wanted me to hang out with them too. Like, it has to be, I always felt it had to be mutual. Like, someone could call you and say, oh, you want to hang out? And like, yeah, great, that's fantastic. But then someone calls you and maybe you don't feel the same way about them that they feel about you. And you're like, so I don't know. I'm trying to think about stuff that was 20 plus years ago, 25, 26 years ago. But then I met my first wife, and, we did things on New Year's Eve. We had people over or whatever. We hung out. I remember we went to some friend's house and we played a game or whatever. We hung out. They lived down the street from us. And, that was fine. But, nothing against the ex, but she wasn't a very sociable person. Now, anyone who knows me knows that my ex is considerably younger than me. So there was the age difference. So, and be honest, she didn't feel comfortable, socializing with, a lot of my older friends, people my age. And I don't blame her. So I didn't really do a lot outside of my sphere of family. We didn't have kids yet, and so I did things here and there, but it really still felt like I had maybe one close friend, maybe two. But even that was starting to stretch a little thin. So getting into this relationship, and we got married, and we had child in 2005. And then it's kind of like, there's a lot of people in the house coming by, seeing the baby, this and that, going out, having someone sit for us so we could actually go out and enjoy ourselves, get away from the screamy child. Who just turned 18, by the way. 18. But now I've kind of caught up to the point where I was we were living in Tewksbury, and I remember Bob, not Bob Kravitz, Bob McKinnon, reached out to me. It's like, hey, do you want to get together and have a drink? I'm like, that would be fantastic. I would love that. And we met and we had a great conversation. Now, I have to admit, I'm looking back on that particular day, and I think that I was probably, well, I know I was, but I think there was a lot going on in my life because I'm pretty sure I was unemployed at this point. Joel was probably born, and I was probably pretty stressed out because of money things and relationship things and things like that. So I want to believe that I wasn't the best company on this outing. As excited as I remember being able to go out and hang out with Bob, because, I've always loved Bob, and Bob's a great guy, and I don't think I spent enough time with Bob growing up, when we met at Lincoln and stuff like that. But he's always very friendly to me and always very nice, and we lived close enough to one another that, it made sense to get together, and I was so happy. But I feel like I was so miserable. And so we parted company that night, and I remember getting home and thinking to myself, it would be a miracle if we ever hung out again, because I just felt like I put forth just this awful vibe, like I didn't appreciate or something. And life went on, life happened, and I would see Bob I probably saw him a few different places over the years, and it was always just great to see him and his wife and his kids, and it was always great to see them. But I look back on that, I'm like, here is a person who invited me out, and I just couldn't get outside of my own misery just to enjoy the time with someone who invited me out. And I remember thinking, I need to stop that. I need to be a little bit more, separate myself from my anxiety or my pain or whatever it is I'm going through, and just enjoy myself for the time that I'm having. Because quite frankly, life got to the point where people started disappearing from my life, like stop being friends with me on Facebook, like just, what is it, unfriended me and stuff like that, because I think all the misery that I would put on Facebook. If you're my friend now and you go out to Facebook and you scroll down through my timeline, you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling till you hit the 2011, 2012, 2013 time frame, I was a miserable fuck. I was just miserable 99% of the time. Maybe once in a while I have a joyous post, but it was just awful. I mean, mostly before 2012, but even after I got my job and I stopped being unemployed, I was still very miserable because I was single and I had lousy dating and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Sorry, I got to take a drink. So, feeling like in my life, during my downtime, I felt very expendable. Like in my life, I've always had a lot of friends until this time, this post-Seattle time, where I had some, but as time went on and I switched jobs, and then I was unemployed, I found my friend pool kind of like drained, and there were just a few people left, a couple of good friends, couple of close friends, and a couple of smattering of acquaintances, people that I would hang out with on occasion. And I don't know why, and maybe someone can comment on this, but why is it that, why do we as people like close ourselves off when all we want to do is just be around people? Like, I am an extrovert through and through, but yet I would hibernate in my apartment or in my house or wherever for days on end, and I just wouldn't call anybody, wouldn't talk to anybody, wouldn't, other than my kids, I wouldn't really do much of anything. And then I would break out of it for a day or two, and then I'd go and hang out with some people. But I'd always like fall back on this misery thing. Like, oh, I can't, dating sucks. And oh my God, the dating apps are just the freaking worst. Trying to find someone. Now, again, at the time, didn't have the greatest opinion of myself. Some of the people who I was involved with at the time sort of beat the piss out of me constantly, making me believe that I was wrong 110% of the time. So I had that against me, that I allowed these people to give me that view of myself. And then all of a sudden, I find myself just not wanting to be around anybody. I got my kids, and that's it. And I felt good about that. I felt comfortable being alone. And I still had a couple of close friends that I could call and talk to, but I finally felt the comfort of, okay, I can be alone without feeling lonely. And that was a good feeling, because this person that I dated really did a number on me, and I did a number on myself. Now, I don't want to talk ill of the dead, but I'm sure she's looking up at me right now going, I didn't do that. And I'm like, yes, you did. Stay down there and cook. But when I finally dealt with that, then I realized, you know what? I'm not a bad guy. I'm not as awful as she says I was. I'm not as unlovable as she made me believe I was. I was all right. And I was okay being alone. Now in my mind, I'm like, I really need to cultivate some friendships here. I need to kind of bring more people into my circle. And I did. I got more people getting, talking to more people, and, doing a little more things, going out a little bit more. Not a lot, but I was going out and I was having fun, and I might have been drinking a little too much at this point, but I think that I was in a better space. And then, right when I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'll start dating again, I meet a woman on one of the apps, and we have plans to go out. And on the day before we're going out, she calls me and says, she didn't want to date me anymore. I'm not dating me. She didn't want to meet me. I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumbled in my head. She didn't want to meet me because I lived too far. Now, she lived down in Westwood or something like that, which is not horrible, but it's not next door either. So at this point, I was just like, you know what? Fine. I'm not going to date. I'm not dating. That's it. I got the friends that I have, and I'm kind of doing the things that I like to do, and I'm not going to date. I'm done. The very next day, I get a message on singleparentsmeet.com. Someone likes my picture. The first thought out of my mouth was, F you! Want anything to do with you? Of course, it's just an email, that said, and then I opened it up. I'm like, fine, I'll take a look. And I looked in it, and there's this rather attractive woman looking back at me, sitting in her car, some sort of blue thing going on. It's like, well, she's cute. Okay. But no, I'm backing off of women. Not going to the other side either. Not that there's anything wrong with that if that's what you're into, but I'm just laying off women for a while. Let me be kind, because that's the kind of guy I am. Let me just email her back. Thank you for liking my picture. And so began an exchange back and forth with the woman I now call wife. So I got out of my own way, even when I was feeling kind of like, grr. I got out of my own way, and I allowed myself to kind of put my shit aside and be in the moment and, just be in the moment. And it turned out pretty good for me. I got to tell you, I can't speak for her. No. But it turned out great for me, and I could not be happier. Now, couple of things. I've, over time, in the last 7 years, 8 years, I've had a couple friends distance themselves from me. Now, I did a whole show on one of them. His name is Bill. I am not afraid to say his name anymore. I have come to terms with it. So, Bill, I went away to take care of cancer. And when I came back, Bill stopped talking to me. Turns out Bill stopped talking to a lot of people. Don't know why. Never found out why. It bothered me a shit ton. But now I'm like, okay, I'm living my best life. I considered him one of those close friends that I had. And that's, I think, why it bothered me so much, is that he was one of those one or two close friends that I had. Well, two close friends that I had that really meant something to me, that I look back on and said, this is a really good friend that I can count on through thick and thin. If I needed them at any given moment, I can rest assured that chances are, unless they're lying dead in the street, they would definitely be at my side. But he abandoned me, and I have my abandonment issues, but I got over it. Why did I get over it? Because I had to. I had no choice. But I had to put that crap aside so I can continue living my best life. I really am. I mean, I wish I brought the picture up. I have a picture of me, and I'm sure most people have seen it. It's been on my, let me see if I can find it here. See if I can find it. First of all, look at this gorgeous kid. Look at that kid. Look at that smile, would ya? Oh, God, I love that smile. All right. Sorry. Let's see. Let me go back to here. Oh, this is for you, Andre. Oh, my God, little Lola. Oh, my God, look at that face. It's so cute. Oh, my God, I love that dog. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to find a picture. It's a picture of me of 300 pounds, and the last time I weighed myself, I weighed 194. Now, I just lost 15 pounds since the beginning of August, July or August, maybe. I don't know when I started my new meds. Be honest with you, I don't remember. But I've lost about 15 pounds, and I got to lose another 10 so I can get my hernia taken care of. But I haven't felt, my clothes haven't fit this good in years. And that feels good. That feels real good. Now, I know that some people in this chat have had weight loss. And I know that they know what I'm talking about. And if you ever had any weight loss, you know that when those pants fit, they fit amazing. And the shirt, and I used to have to wear pardon the phrase, I used to have to wear a wife beater under my shirts because of where I had to wear my pants, because they wouldn't stay up. Now I don't have to wear them anymore. They stay up with the belt. They don't slip or anything. And I feel amazing. What does this have to do with friendship? you got to be your own friend too, as well. So you got to kind of don't believe your own bad press, because the people who are spouting it may not have a clue as to who you are and what you do. But it's, there's so many more things on this friend stuff that I did not, let's see. Let me just read off a couple of facts here, just because. Of those friend-having adults, 72% expressed high levels of satisfaction with their friendships. Turns out camaraderie with your favorite people can lead you to feeling content. I completely agree with that. The survey respondents that reported larger groups of friends also felt more satisfied with the quality of their friendships compared to those with fewer close friends. Maybe those fellas from that famous 90s sitcom about friendship were into something. I don't know. Are they referring to Friends? Because there were more than just fellas there. There was some ladies there as well. Generally, people talk most about work, family, and current events, but that frequency can also change depending on gender. Women surveyed reported discussing family life as well as mental and physical health at higher rates than men. Men are more likely than women to talk to their close friends about sports and current events. I think I'm more of a woman in this regard, because I always talk about my mental freaking health and just trying to, I don't know. I'm not really into sports a lot. I do current events, but, it wasn't until 2016 that I started talking politics. And then in 2020, I stopped talking politics because I couldn't take it any longer. You believe what you believe. I'll believe what I believe. And hopefully we won't blow ourselves up. You did it! You blew it up! Ah. Yeah. So I think if I had to look back upon my life, I think I love the days that I had a large group of people that we'd hang out all together. I think I enjoy the small groups that I used to hang out with. My ex and I had friends that we used to have come over the house, and we'd, lug TVs around and we'd play Halo for like hours on end. And it was some of the best times. We'd also have times where we'd go out and we'd just go out with a bunch of us, and we'd go out to dinner, or we'd go out to a movie, go out to the beach and hang out on the wall. And that was also a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun hanging out with people. Now I'm older. I don't do it as much, but my thought is this. I had several people watching. I probably missed my opportunity. Some of them were probably bots, to be quite honest with you. I want to try to make an effort to get together with a variety of people, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, over the next year. Kind of build a social network, if you will, where, I'm not looking to be anyone's, to walk into someone's life and be their best friend. I think that takes time, and a lot of parts have to fit into place for you to be someone's best friend. It doesn't happen like that. I got a couple of friends right now. Like I mentioned, this guy, Bill, who was one of my best friends, who has completely signed off on me. And I have to admit, I admire his staunch, what's the word? His ability to maintain distance and remove contact. Like, I barraged him with text and Facebook things. And that's the funny thing, we're still friends on Facebook. I don't understand that. And he's give thumbs up to posts of mine at different times. So I don't understand that logic behind it. But I have to give the guy props for being steadfast in his beliefs that he did not want to talk to me anymore because he has maintained radio silence since January of 2021. Like nothing. No slip up, no nothing. So I give you props, Bill. You're a fuck, but I give you props. And I got my buddy Mark, who I just met doing comedy back in 1990. Mark is, probably one of my closest friends, and I love Mark to death. He's a brother to me. But we don't spend a lot of time together. But that's the type of friend that I have that I could not talk to Mark for several weeks on end. We don't usually go that long, but we could pick up right where we left off. And I know that he's not very far from my thoughts, and I know I'm not very far from his thoughts. But then I have other friends like my buddy Gary, who reached out to me this past week. We actually had a conversation via text, which felt nice. It felt nice to get back into a conversation with him. And we were talking about the whole Israel thing, and apparently the ADL has reported that anti-Semitic events have gone up over 380% since the Hamas bombing Israel back on October 7th. 380% it's gone up, anti-Semitic events. And that's a little concerning. So he and I got to talk about that a little bit. My wife actually asked me if I was concerned. I said, not yet, but I don't know. After talking to Gary, I might be a little bit more concerned than I was before, but that's something we could talk about later. So I would like to find a way, and if anyone has any thoughts, by all means, help me out. But I want to be the kind of person that can call someone out of the blue and say, hey, let's go hang out. But I feel awkward about it. I never used to before, don't get me wrong. There were people that I used to call, every so often, and we get together and we hang out or whatever. But nowadays, I just feel kind of like, and so I just don't know. I don't know what to do in that regard because, I see people at the reunion, we'll get together, but it never happens. And I need to get past that. I'm 56 years old. I'll be 57 next month. I'm not getting any younger. My kids think I'm going to live forever, that I'm never going to die. Me and Lola are going to live forever, apparently. But I know I'm not. I'm pretty realist when it comes to that. But I would like to spend these, whatever years I have remaining, I would like to spend it in the company of good people, like-minded people. And I don't even give a shit about political beliefs to an extent. If I could hang out with someone who is either like a libertarian, a conservative, an ultra-conservative, if I could hang out with a person like that and we just don't talk politics and we just have, hang out, have dinner, talk about anything but, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change mine. So why try? I don't want to talk about it. I'm looking at a chart here of things that people talk about with their friends between men and women. Men talk about their work 54%. Women talk 61% about their work. Family life, men 47, women 67%. Current events, men, I'm sorry, I take that back. Women 44%, men 53%. Physical health, men 31%, women 41%. Pop culture, TV, movies, books, whatever, women 37%, men 32%. Sports, men 37, women 13%. Their mental health, 31% women, 50% men. There's some differences going on there. How are you 58? Am I 56 now? Let me think about that. This is 2023. Yeah, I'm 56. I don't know how you're 58 then, Rob. I don't know. Because my brother's 58. He just turned 58. He graduated 83. I don't know what's happening there. All right. Um. So yeah, so I'm trying to find a way to do this in such a way that I don't feel awkward, because you know it's I don't know. You know what I mean? Does anyone have an inkling about maybe what I'm going through or what I'm thinking about, that maybe you've been in a similar position where you want to increase your sphere of influence or your circle of friends, the circle of trust. What was that guy's name? In Meet the Parents. What was his name? Ben Stiller's name. Oh, look, Greg, you want to be in the circle of trust? Can you milk me? Can you milk me? I got nipples. Can you milk me? Oh man. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking to do. And I would like anyone in this chat to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. I will feel free to reach out to you to hang out, get together, maybe try to create, not, I'm talking like organically, create like a rhythm, something that, we can do, whether it's individually, one-on-one or a group, it's, I don't know. I just would like to see more of people, and I don't know. I think it would be cool. I think it would be fun to have, a group of people that you can hang out with. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. So, any thoughts from the peanut gallery? I talked a lot tonight, and we had a fair bit of people listening. But again, I droned on maybe a little too long, and some people kind of fell off. But I do appreciate you being here. But if you have any thoughts, by all means, please, let me know. You can email me. Let me see if my email address is here somewhere. Is this it? Nope, that's Prime Minister of the old Prime Minister. Oh, Robin, yeah. See, I think, Bob, that was the nucleus for this whole thing. When I saw that Robin pop by your house to see your wife, and it was unannounced from what I understand, that to me is like, I love that. I love that so much. And I saw Robin, I actually brought her down to have Lola's haircut. And yeah. So I think that it was awesome that she did that. And I think that is really what the nucleus of this particular subject was when I saw that, because I felt I was in love with what she did when she just went over there and just met up with your wife, and that to me is awesome. I would personally, I've always felt, now this is when I lived alone, of course, so I have to, respect other people in the home, but I always loved it when people just drop by, and, would just ring my doorbell. Hey, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, freaking hey, come on in, have a seat, have a drink. Here's some water. I never really have alcohol in the house, but I just always loved that. So, it's the stuff like that I just really, I don't know. Maybe that's a younger man's game. I don't know, but I really, really enjoyed that stuff. And again, seeing Robin doing that was just like, it reminded me of that. I really want to get back in the friend game. I want to get back with people and hanging out and doing things, my wife and I going out and hanging out. And oh yeah, Robin and I, we suffered through Hebrew school together. We always would say something like, there were these two sisters that were at the Hebrew school. They were the Azov sisters. One was Miss Lottie, and one was Miss Azov, and she was the one in the office. She was like the mean one, and the other one was the kinder one. But we would always say something like, you want to make the Azovs proud. And Robin and I throughout the years have said that. They made a TikTok. I didn't see that. Normally, Stephanie's TikToks typically come up in my my timeline, but I didn't see her and Robin's. I'll have to research that one, see where it is. But yeah, it's something that I want to do, and I know that my wife and I have talked about it. Trying to be a little bit more social. So let's all kind of piece this together. Rich, if you're still listening, I don't know that you have offered up to hang out with your wife and my wife and hang out together. I think that's a great idea. And I think that's cool. And I think that's, that Andre is, as far as, it's funny, I see a lot of people from high school. I got my 40th reunion coming up next year. So again, this will be the year I start seeing more of the high school people, but I see them, a lot of them throughout the year, in passing and stuff, not hanging out. But I think I'm going to make that concerted effort to, say, hey, let's go out on this particular day. And there's Brian Cooper, another one of the elementary school friends that I've had for years. So Brian, thank you for coming by. And we're wrapping this up in a few. So, but yeah, definitely want to get together with more people and hang out and just build something organically and build it so we all have a good time. And, without all the bullshit, politics. Now, I don't mean politics as in Democrat, Republican. I mean politics of the group. Like, oh, this person didn't call me and this person called me, and why didn't they call me and tell me about this thing? It's like, let's just all get along. Let's just all, it's a chain, okay? So let's have a good time with it. Let's do this. Yeah, 40 years, Rob. It's eek, 40 years. I mentally don't. I look at the screen right now and I see me and I don't see 57. I don't. I think most of the folks in our class have aged very well. That's Gen X for you, okay? There are some people in our grade who have not aged very well. Just being honest, there are a few. But many have aged very well. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Longevity. Yes. All right, everyone. I don't... let me see. I'm probably gonna... Let's see. I want to see if I have my promos. Let's see. Maybe it's in the wrap-up. Let me see if it's in there. This is gonna look weird. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, it's not there. All right, well, my email address, I'll give you a second to grab a pen. Oh, screw it. Just send me a message on Facebook. Let's hang out. Let's do something. Let's get together. Hate to say it, but if you have people that you hang out with and you think that we might all get along, then maybe, hey, let's build something. Let's build something. Yep. I'm sorry, I'm just reading something here. Here's something that a closing thought. Closing thought. My grandmother. Just wait a second. Wait a second. Don't go yet. In May, the U.S. Surgeon General released an advisory on the epidemic of loneliness in the United States, which found that lacking connection can increase the risk for premature death to levels comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. In the last few decades, we've just lived through a dramatic change of pace of change. We move more. We change jobs more often. We are living with technology that has profoundly changed how we interact with each other and how we talk to each other. And you can feel lonely even if you have a lot of people around you. Amen. Because loneliness is about the quality of your connections. Amen. I have 600 and some odd friends on Facebook. I'm just saying that is a great number for me, but I don't feel 600 and some odd connections in my being. I wish I did. That would be awesome. So, got to work on this. This is going to be the work in progress. This is going to be my project for the next year. Increasing my social sphere. So, will you join me? Or will you stand by and watch me? I don't know. Just watch me. Just watch me. Kiss myself. All right, everyone. Please, please, please have a great night. Oh, I got to get my closing thing here. Hold on a second. Got to get the closing thing here. Because I want you to see my closing. I worked very hard on it. And I want you to see my closing. My mouse doesn't work well up here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. All right, everyone. Be good. Take care. And remember, Paul Report, Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. Tell your friends. Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Bob, my brother. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Scrolling up here. Thank you, Jen. Let's see. Who else is here? I did say Andre. Was there anyone else that slipped in here? I said Rich. Said Bob Kravitz. Nope. I said everybody. All right. Thank you to everyone. Please, please, please have a good week and be good to each other. And here comes the closing. Hold on a second. Nope, that's not the closing. Hold on a second. Where is it? Here we go. Show closing.